How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 242 of the Boys in the Booth podcast. Just Abrams and Cody for this one. Chad is taking a bit of a mental reset, especially after that game 7 in Toronto between the Leafs and the Panthers. That is completely understandable with
He's
how.
grieving with the rest of the Leafs fans.
That's right, absolutely. So, just the two of us here, Case, and we're not really going to dive into Toronto. I know that when Chad returns next week, he wants to do kind of a deep dive into the Maple Leafs and how things kind of went off the rails in that second round series against the Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions, who are moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals to face the Carolina Hurricanes. And then in the Western Conference Finals, we have a rematch from last season. It is the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers. So, Case, why don't we start in the West with Dallas and Edmonton? The Stars move on after defeating the Winnipeg Jets in 6 games. We were at the Thousand Islands Brewery here in Brockville for that Game 6. Obviously an emotional ending for Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets, but boy, did the Dallas Stars ever look good, and they're getting healthier again, and now they will face an Edmonton team that handled the Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games in round 2. So let's start with Dallas and Edmonton.
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces in these conference finals, over the last 4 years. Kind of all the same, but different. And yeah, this series, man, this West series feels like a coin flip to me. And I have absolutely struggled to pick a team to move on here. I think I got to break it down and really, look at it piece by piece. And I started to do that. I looked at goaltending, and I think, of course, you're going to give the nod to Dallas, and it's going to be an important part of this series. Do we get game 4 and game 5 Stuart Skinner, or do we get whatever the heck we were seeing before in that previous series in LA? Or it's been just brutal. But 2 shutouts in a row, you have to feel like he's found something in his game right now, and that's going to be a big part. And then I looked at depth versus depth. I've been blown away by Edmonton's forward group so far this series and everything we've seen, how everyone's contributing. But I think that they're evenly matched or even surpassed by the Dallas Stars' depth, at least on paper. They've always been a very deep team. And it's been a bit of the Mikko Rantanen show in Dallas, but I feel like there's a lot of forward depth there. So had to move on from that. And then I looked at special teams. Edmonton has been maybe the best 5-on-5 team in the playoffs, and they need to keep it that way. They need to stay out of the penalty box because their penalty kill is atrocious. And Dallas has been absolutely lighting up the power play. They've got like 14 power play goals in these playoffs, and it's looking effortless for them. So they need to stay out of the penalty box in Edmonton and try to keep it 5-on-5 and let the big dogs eat. I've said, these are a lot of ifs and buts, and I'd really like this take to be more analytical, like perhaps I will be with Carolina and Florida. But I just feel something about this Edmonton run right now. I made the joke last series. I said, McDavid this, McDavid that, Draisaitl, they'll carry, McDavid in 7, whatever. But they've been great, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't been that way. It's been everyone contributing in Edmonton, and I feel like they haven't gone into pure like team on our backs mode yet. And if they're going to do it at some point in this playoffs and they do it against Dallas, I think they'll win it. And for that reason, and like mostly based on vibes alone in Edmonton, I'm picking Edmonton in 7, which is going against my Dallas Colorado prediction where whoever won that series would be in the finals. But I've got to do it. Something feels different about this Edmonton team, and it seems like their year.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, dude. Like, I'm going against the grain here, against my bracket, and I'm going to pick the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games. You mentioned the depth. I think, the last couple of years, we've underestimated the depth of the Edmonton Oilers, and give Stan Bowman a lot of credit. Like, a lot of the moves that he's made, he's nailed right on the head. He's pushed a lot of the right buttons. Jake Wallman and John Klingberg on the blue line, and then you look at the guys who are in that forward group. Vasily Podkolzin for a 4th-round pick. What a great ad that was. Kasperi Kapanen, who, like we were talking about in person the other night, was a waiver claim in the season. And guess what? He scores the overtime winner to send the Edmonton Oilers to their 3rd Western Conference final in the last 4 years. A waiver claim. Evander Kane is back and looks like himself. Looks like that power forward that can really have an impact on a series. Trent Frederick has fit in really nicely. Matthias Janmark really struggled during the regular season, but like last year, he really steps it up this time of year. And, the only question for me is the goaltending, because you're going up against Jake Ottinger, who is a terrific goaltender. And then a big difference for Dallas this year is just having that number one superstar up front in Mikko Rantanen, who has been absolutely electric for them. But it's like we've talked about so many times, it's so hard to go against 97 and 29. I agree with you. We haven't really seen them, go into superhero mode yet. I think that's still to come. And as long as Edmonton can keep up the depth scoring and everybody contributing the way they have been and get saves as well, I think the Oilers will be in good shape here to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals for the 2nd year in a row. And for that reason, I've got the Oilers in 7. Chad has Dallas in 7 games, which I could see as well. But I'm with you. I'm going with the Oilers in 7 games.
I thought there was going to be some pushback on that. I thought, the consensus is Dallas. I think everyone's kind of picking Dallas, but I don't know. Just something feels different, and I hate going off feelings, but I'm going to do it.
I'm with you. All right, man. Let's go into the Eastern Conference finals. So it is the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. We saw this matchup a few years ago when Florida went to the Cup final in 2023 and lost to the Vegas Golden Knights. So Carolina moves on after eliminating the Capitals in 5 games. Just absolutely smothered the Capitals defensively. And then you look at the Panthers, who, turned Game 5 into Game 7 against the Toronto Maple Leafs, winning that one 6-1. Yikes!
Copy paste.
And Florida, to the surprise of no one, continues to, go on these long runs. They've got another one here and a chance to go back to the Stanley Cup final for a 3rd straight season, which is just incredible. So we've got the Panthers and the Hurricanes. Your thoughts?
Yeah, just quickly to touch on that, 3 Cup Finals trips in a row would be huge. And I mentioned early on in this season that we could be on dynasty watch with this team, because I looked ahead at their contract situation and what they have going on in the off season, and just guys locked up long term under good contracts. And it's like, this could be a thing going on for a long time here in Florida, especially if they can keep making deadline moves, like bringing in Brad Marchand, who has just found a resurgence in his game playing in Florida. He looks great. He's quick. I can't believe how fast he actually is. Like, on the forecheck, he gets in there, and his corner work is amazing. Coming out with the puck always, and then just getting it to the net every single time. It's really something watching him play in Florida. But I think this is going to be the series of the playoffs, maybe, just because these two teams play a very similar game.
Oh yeah,
dump and chase, hard forecheck, and shot volume over shot quality. It's just very similar.
I'm with you. Yeah,
I was wrong about Carolina and Washington that series. I picked Washington. I thought that the depth, Carolina wouldn't be able to handle it compared to how they kind of, they looked okay against a beaten and bruised Devils team, but I was wrong about that. They but I do have to stick with my guns here on the East and say that whoever won the Florida Tampa series is going to be in the Cup final. The difference in this series compared to Washington and New Jersey is Florida's ability to break the puck out of their zone. They have defense who are very strong in the corners with a great first pass ability, and the forwards who will do anything to get the puck past the line. And once they get it out, they're just relentless going the other way. I could not believe watching the first 7 minutes of Game 7, just their ability to stop the breakout, turn it around, cycle, and then funnel shots to the net, which it leads me to my second point. My second reason on why Florida is going to win this series and that's their shot frequency and controlling the crease. In 2 more games, Florida has 179 unblocked shot attempts more than Washington. I think Carolina will do better limiting shot attempts than Toronto did or even Tampa. But when those shots do get through, there's been a lot of chaos in Carolina's crease or, just in their net front area. And that's the type of chaos that Florida thrives on.
Yeah.
And they're so good at getting the puck there, and shots will get through. And once they do, Anderson has been great. Very, very good. Like prime playoff Anderson. But Carolina's allowed 4 goals from rebounds in these playoffs so far. And that is working in Florida's advantage. I just think that shot frequency, just funneling it in and crashing the net, Florida's going to come out on top. And lastly, I used to believe in breaks being such a big deal, and being able to, rest up is such an advantage. And 5-game series for Carolina, that's a lot of break taking. But I've completely flipped on that, and I think momentum and habits is everything. And Florida right now, they have the momentum, and they didn't really take much of a beating from Toronto. We all saw those hits taken stats that kept getting put up on the screen and talked about every single game of that series. They have not taken or received, as many hits as people would think. And I think that they're going to come out flying after, going to Game 7 and still being in this playoff mode.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I lost my thought there for a second, but all of that being said, and kind of this momentum and play style of Florida, I'm going to take them in 6 games.
BetterHelp is the paid partner of this video. The new year is a blank space for you to write a new story. BetterHelp makes it more convenient to get you started. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy more comfortable and convenient. They carefully make sure therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help you if you have any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. Your next chapter starts today. Get 10% off your first month of BetterHelp online therapy at betterhelp.com/boysinthebooth in paid partnership with BetterHelp.
We interrupt this podcast to tell you about one of our favorite partners, Sign Up Expert. If you're a sports bettor, whether brand new, casual, or hardcore, listen very carefully because this ad is for you. Guys, line shopping for the best odds matters, and that's why any profitable sports bettor needs to be using multiple sports books to maximize their profits. Thankfully, there's never been a better time to get signed up, and we're here to connect you with the best promotions industry-wide. When you use our link at signupexpert.com/boysinthebooth, you can get access to all the top sportsbooks in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique benefits. Most importantly, all of these sportsbooks have valuable sign-up offers for new users, and when you register through our link, you will automatically receive the top offer at each one, allowing you to start line shopping right away with an enhanced bankroll. Guys, it's simple. When you use multiple sportsbooks, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful and profitable sports betting. So if you want to take advantage of these incredible benefits and support our brand at the same time, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook through the link in the description down below, signupexpert.com/boysinthebooth. If you're planning on signing up for a new sportsbook anyways, you might as well use the link and support the boys. So one more time, that's signupexpert.com/boysinthebooth. This podcast is also sponsored by the absolute best ticket app out there, SeatGeek. SeatGeek takes the confusion out of buying tickets, making it quick and easy to get the best deals on tickets to your favorite sporting events. SeatGeek does this awesome thing where they score each ticket out of 10 based on its value, so you know if you're getting a good or a bad deal. If the tickets are green, for example, you better act quick and secure those things because that's a good deal. But if the tickets are red, maybe wait a bit before pulling the trigger and monitor the price in the app. SeatGeek just makes it way too easy. Anyway, here's the best part though. SeatGeek has completely hooked us up. Boys in the Booth listeners get $20 off their first purchase on SeatGeek with the promo code Boys in the Booth in all caps. So click the link in the description down below to download the app, and remember to get your discounted tickets using the code Boys in the Booth in all caps. Get great seats for a fraction of the cost with SeatGeek.
Yeah, no, I'm going to pick Florida as well. Chad has the same pick as you. He's taking the Panthers in 6. I'll go with Florida in 7. I could see this series going the distance because of a lot of what you said there about how similar of a style that these two teams play, and these two teams are both so relentless on the forecheck. And I was saying this watching Game 7 with my dad the other night. Toronto always looked a step too slow against Florida in the defensive zone. Like
I
Panthers,
said that same thing to Rebecca. I said Florida is first and second to every puck right now.
Yeah.
Watching that Game 7.
Oh, absolutely. And, you mentioned how Brad Marchand has been such a great addition, a Leaf killer in the playoffs too, by the way. Like, I think he's only second behind Gordie Howe for most goals in the postseason against Toronto, which is just ridiculous. He has fit right in there. But Seth Jones as well has been just absolutely terrific. And he may have been the best player on the ice in that Game 7 against Toronto. He's been terrific, and that line of Marchand, Luostarinen, and oh goodness, who's the other guy that I'm missing? Lundell. Yeah, they've been just a terrific third line to play against, a real pain in the behind. And you need a good third line this time of year. And Florida, just everybody knows their roles. They're well coached, like Carolina is as well. And, I mentioned Seth Jones there, and he's a great defenseman, but we're really seeing again how good and underappreciated a guy like Jacob Slavin is on the Carolina Hurricanes. I know we've been saying that for years, but we can put that to bed now and just say that, like, he is an elite defender. This is who he is, and they're a well coached team as well. But I'm with you. I think momentum is very important. I would like to pick Carolina here because I would like to pick them one of these years to get over that Eastern Conference final hurdle that they just can't seem to get over. But look, they will give Florida everything they have. I just think the Panthers just have a little bit more to be able to get this thing over the line, and that's why I'm picking the Panthers in 7 games. But I agree with you, Case. Like, this is going to be a hell of a series. It's going to be an absolute dogfight because of how these two teams play. And I'm pretty sure they both lead the league in dump-ins. I'm pretty sure. Like, that's just dump it in, go get it. Like, it's that old school kind of hockey that they play, and it's successful. So it's going to be a heck of a series, but I'm picking the Panthers in 7 games.
It just wears down defenders when you get in their puck and just berate them constantly. And it's really been the case for both these teams so far. But, when I look at Carolina and I think of their 2 biggest strengths are their forecheck game and the shot quantity, which comes with it, and their penalty kill. They've only allowed 1 goal on the PK so far this playoffs, which is unbelievable. But the first strength, the forecheck, Florida does it the same, if not better. And the second strength, the PK, Florida's been a great. I hesitated to say Edmonton was the best 5-on-5 team because I had Florida in my mind. They've been phenomenal 5-on-5, and that's how they've scored the most of their goals. It really hasn't been the power play for them. So they just kind of take that strength out of the equation if they're going to be the best 5-on-5 team out there. So
yeah,
I think that Carolina has their strengths and they might be able to win off of those, but I think that Florida counters them so well.
Yeah, no, well said. It's hard to disagree with that. Case, you have any final thoughts here before we put a bow on this thing? Obviously a quick one, but we're down to 4 teams. We've only got 4 teams to talk about, 2 matchups here, and it's going to be terrific.
No, I'm excited for this. It's kind of, this is when it gets easier to follow. There's only 2 games. You don't have to like be flipping channels and, staying up real late to watch some 10-20 West game. But it's getting exciting. And these are teams that have been here, done that. They've all been to the conference finals within the last few seasons, and it's going to be good.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, there you go. Episode 242. A little preview for the West and East conference finals. Looking forward to it. Down to 4 teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The hockey's been terrific so far. And boy, oh boy, we are in for 2 great series here and ultimately a great finish yet again. So thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you again next week.